Hey guys, welcome to Influencing Artists. I'm Jenna Rice, and I'm here today to give you a little tutorial on how to find the value in color. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Go ahead and click subscribe now so that you don't miss any of my future videos. Now let's get started. All right guys, so I'm a little bit new at this portrait creating with color. I've used, regular colors, skin tones, things of that nature, but I really wanted to mix it up this time. So I thought that going over some color value rules would help us further understand how to create something like this. Now this is only halfway done, so let's see what we can do next to improve it. So eventually this portrait will look a little more similar to Bill Murray. All right, yeah, I'm doing Bill Murray today, guys. So I have my high quality image of Bill Murray right here. And I have also a grayscale and value finder. I actually printed this out on my high quality printer at home. But I'm sure you can buy one of these in a local art store near you or on Amazon.com, of course. So when we look at his photo here, you see all the different values. And if you don't know what value is, it's the lightness and darkness of a color. So let's see where certain values lie. Maybe these darker areas by his lips might be that value 4 there. So when you compare this grayscale and value finder next to this unfinished piece, let's get this area right here on the very tip of the nose, this pink here that I'm not really fond of. Let's see what we can do with that. Here on Bill Murray, you see that he has quite a high shine on the front of his nose in that photograph. So I'd say that's pretty close to a value 10. Or maybe a little bit of a value 9, maybe a little bit in between. So let me see if I can find a color that will coordinate well with that. So I also wanted to explain these little divots in this value finder here, they help a lot, but the pink is definitely, I'd say that's closer to like a value 8 almost. And it's pink, so it's a bright color, but it wasn't quite as bright as I wanted it to be. And you can also see that it wasn't quite opaque enough to color this blue. So let's fix that right there. All right, so I figured that in order to fix this painting properly, I will need to paint in white or gesso over some of the areas that I believe are too dark. So what I just did here looks like a total mess. It's not supposed to look this pasty, but this was just to cover up some of the dark areas that I darkened up a little bit too much with the wrong color. So I don't muddy any of my colors into the white. I'm gonna go ahead and fill in some of this background here while the paint dries. So sorry about the glare on the photo here. But here is my photograph again. And here is my grayscale and value finder. Okay, so let's see if we can find this value over here on this side. So we're looking at maybe probably a value 3 right there for that little crease in his cheek right there. So let's see if this kind of works. I think that it will. All right, I think we're doing pretty well. Okay, that value 3, that looks just about right. All right, so I try not to worry too much about perfection at this point. I'm just trying to put some color down in the areas where I see fit. And I'll just go over here and look at my photo that I have conveniently placed right there on the corner of my canvas. When I work large, I like to do that. The little connections that you make when you do portraits can really be helpful to kind of show that it's a face. You know, with all these colors, you can see why someone can get confused as it could be something else. That's why we're using value. All right, so clearly I got a little carried away again. But I started to work on the hair, and then I decided that I'm going to switch up the background a little bit to add a little bit more texture. I'm going to do another technique video to show you how I did something like this. So just, you know, hit subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future videos. All right, so I've decided that I need another darker tone in order to make this look right. He just looks a little, I guess, a little bit too cartoony for me, a little bit high on the contrast there. Lots of mixes of colors and such. I want to kind of blend it to make it look a little bit more realistic, yet not at the same time. We need another kind of warmer yet darker color to add here, I think. So I'm going to add some of this lovely magenta closer to some of the darker areas, kind of blend it a little bit more. So this is a darker color, but it's not a super dark value, as you can see. I wouldn't put it next to the black. I wouldn't put it next to value 2, probably a value 3. Excuse the paint that I already got on this thing. I was hoping to not get paint on it, but you know, just how it is. All right guys, so I did the hair. I touched up a bunch of that background there. I added more highlights and lowlights to his face. I added a little twinkle to his eyes. I've done a whole bunch of different little things here, but there are just a couple little things that I would like to fix before this painting is completely done. I feel like it needs a little bit more something in the eye area. It's kind of missing something. And then also the blue, the bright blue bit on the ear there is a little bit too bright. I just don't see it as bright on that photo back there that you see of Bill Murray himself. His ear is not that bright. So I'm going to fix that. All right, guys. So what I did here to the ear was I actually took the yellow that I had and I mixed it with the red that I was using. And what I also did, since I added it to the ear here, it's not a color that I used a ton of. So I decided to spread it across a canvas. You never want to have one color only in one area because then it could make the painting look a little odd. So I did put a little bit right here on the nose, on that highlight there. Put a little tiny bit right there, a little bit on the nose there, a little dab right there. I'm probably going to add a little bit to the eyebrows there. I think that will look really nice with that mixture. So let me go ahead and do that. All right. So I added a little bit more to the eyebrows there. Just a little bit will do. You don't want to brighten up his eyebrows too much, even though you got a couple little white hairs in there. You don't want to have too much because it will be very distracting. Maybe I'll add like a little one, but we'll see. So another great way to see how the value in the color is actually doing is to actually take a photo of your work and put it in black and white. When you compare those, you can see how the color is pretty balanced. All right, guys, here he is. And now all I gotta do is give him a little signature and he's ready to go. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you guys learned a lot. If you have any questions, please feel free to put those in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, remember to stay peaceful, as a calm mind is a creative mind. Now, go get inspired, be an influence, and make something beautiful today. Peace.